Right now, my box is working with what? Wired CWA. What I want to do is do the same thing but in a wireless network. And actually, to be honest with you, it's more used in a wireless network because most of the guests coming in are not going to plug their laptops into the socket. They're going to do it based on wireless, especially in today's day and age. So how do I do CWA for wireless? First thing I'll do is disable this. Good. We'll do this later on, enabling of that. What do I need to do to set it up? I've already set up my WLC, remember? Let's just log into it. It's just basic configuration, the one that you do from the CLI. Make sure my AP is registered. Other than that, it doesn't have anything. Let's set the relationship up between the WLC and the ICE. Security, authentication, new. Oh, sorry, accounting. I was supposed to be an accountant. Done? Clear? Now normal stuff that I need to do. What you would normally do. What is that? Create an interface under controller. Let's do two. One for VLAN 20. Let's say port 2, backup 3. You guys know how to do this, right? Next, wireless LANs. Create a new one. Let's say CWA. Enable it. This remains the same, this remains the same. Security, none. Map, why map? Remember over there, what did I do? Wired map and continue. Over here I'm going to do wireless map, continue. Layer 3 I'm going to leave it as is. AAA server, same thing that we did. You guys remember this? This should be second nature by now. If you've done the labs, advanced. Good. Everything fine? You guys okay? What did I do over here? Enable it. Security. Layer 2 none with MAC filtering. Layer 3 as is. AAA normal stuff. Enable it. Enable the authentication accounting server. Override enabled. Change it to radius for authentication. Go to advanced. Enable the AAA override. Change the NAC state to radius NAC. Apply it. So I have that ready. Good? Clear. Now, do you guys remember I created that reader ACL on the switch? So any traffic that comes in gets redirected. On the wireless, the main difference is you don't have a reader ACL. The pre-auth and the reader do the same job. The pre-auth and reader do the same job. So whatever you specify is allowed. Whatever you don't specify is redirected. But what you need to do is create that ACL where? On the WLC. You need to create that ACL where? On the WLC. You need to use the name. You need to push down the name from where? ICE. Where? Security. Access control list. Access control list. I'll enable counters because I want to see the hit counts. I'll show you the hit counts. Up. New. Pre, or we'll call it CWA pre-auth. Remember this name. Actually, I'll just copy it because this is exactly the name that I need to specify in ICE. Apply. Now the entries in there. This is where you need to be a little careful. The entries are for both-way traffic, in and out. It doesn't create return entries. Do you remember the entries that I had? DHCP, DNS, access to ICE. I'll start with ICE first. Add rule. 1. Permit source any destination. Any source, any destination, any protocol, IP, any host. This host. Now this is what I wanted to tell you earlier on. Not only that, you need to allow the return traffic as well. So this ACL will also contain what? Take a look at the two entries. Permit anybody to 192.168.100.35 and 100.35. You need to do both entries. Similarly, source any destination, any protocol, UDP, source port will do later, destination. Let's start with server or client. Alright? Permit. Add another one.
No, we need to deny. Oh. No, we need to deny.
Deny at the end. Any UDP source client. Take a look. Client in the destination, client in the source. Deny ho gaya. Good. Keep on going. 5. UDP server in the source port. And now server in the server, client in both places. Done? Last two is your DNS. 7, source any, UDP will do destination as DNS. Looks good. 8. Just remember there are 9 entries that you need to have. The last one. Deny any. This becomes your what? Pre-auth ACL and your redirection ACL. Whatever is not allowed is redirected. I create this over here. Not only that, I can also create over here a CWA self post auth.
But this system is LWA.
Hmm?
This is because LWA में switch पे सारा होता है.
But the usernames, passwords, all that type of stuff, everything is pushed down from the ICE.
That's what happens with the wired LWA.
While but this is not, over here you don't have a choice. Remember, even when we did the
This is known as CWA.
this is CW centralized because everything is controlled from the accounts are created. You don't have any accounts created over here.
Yeah, but if you compare it with wired,
Yeah, it's
type of-
similar to that. Similar to that.
More
But
of
there's
the
a little
wired.
bit more over here done with this because it's centralized based on those portal configurations. Whereas there you don't do any of that. It's just a normal username password.
Minimal config.
So post auth, put something in. Let's say source any destination protocol. Let's say I want to deny TCP telnet. Deny that. Permit any. Deny telnet, permit the rest. This is what? My post auth. First thing that I want to do is I want to get my pre-auth. How do I do it? Now the ICE portion. I've done the WLC. What do I do on the ICE portion? The first thing, go to your authentication. Duplicate above or below, doesn't matter. Make sure, although it should be there because I copied it, but make sure of that you have the user not found. Continue. Done? Create a different group, or you can use the same group. It doesn't really matter. I can use the same group if I want to. I can create a different group for the whatchamacallit, the admin created. Remember this? I had the admin created wired. I can do self, let's do admin created wireless. And self created wireless. Clear? Done? Don't put any users in there, they'll be created later on. You just need to create it over here. What I'll also do for wireless, because I want to put the wireless users in a different one, I'll create a different portal for wireless. Okay? How do I do that? Settings, guest, multiple portals, add, custom, wireless. Actually, this one, portal policy is the same for both, actually. I don't need it. Yeah, it doesn't matter, because for self-created, there's only one you can put in, self-created, so I cannot do two. Yeah, so I'll use the same one. So I'm done with that.
So
The,
in this, can we add another group?
for no,
Self-created
for
wireless.
portal, for the self-created, it's a single one. For the self-created, there's only one. So this is done. I don't need to do anything over here actually. Only if I wanted to do it for different wireless groups, the admin created. Otherwise, it's the same. The next thing I'll go into my results. Over here, I'll specify my authorization profiles. I don't need to create any ACLs over here.
Yeah, it's already done over
All over there. Add CWA pre-auth wireless. No DACL. No DACL. No, not even airspace. We'll put it on 100 initially. Web authentication. Centralized ACL. CWA pre-auth. The name of that pre-auth ACL. You get my point? This ACL will act as the reader ACL as well as the pre-auth ACL. So you don't have a DACL over here. Change this to custom. Create another one. CWA wireless post auth. Again, no DACL. VLAN, let's say 30. Where is that? Airspace ACL. What did I call it?
So that's
So if the user is successful, push the name down. So I've created my wireless. One pre-auth and one post-auth. Let's go back to our authorizations. We'll do this as duplicate above. CWA pre-auth wireless. If this is what? Wireless map, then use you guys okay with this one? These two for right now, not this one I'll disable.
For the wired.
The wired I'm gonna disable. Which one? Self-created. Instead, I'm gonna do CWA self-created wireless group. Which one? Self-created. I think it's still self-created wired because I didn't change it.
Portal is in.
Portal is still wired, right? Authorization. Post-auth wireless. Let's take a look. What does it say? If it's self-created wireless, this user put this post-auth. What does this CWA wireless post-auth do? Downloads that ACL, denying telnet, permitting the rest. Good, good.
But
Clear?
if we keep both on, it will create a problem if we keep both as on.
What you need to do then is you need to segregate it based on not just the
Wired and
group,
wireless.
the way it's authenticated. You can do it like that. We'll do it next.
That's an option.
That's an option. I didn't do it on the other one, so
And then
it would have created, because I didn't do it, then I would need to change that and this one. So that's why I didn't do it. It's easier to just disable. Done? How do I test it? we're ready for
Right.
testing. So let's go over here. This is disable. We'll enable the. Did we create the SSID? Yeah, we didn't. I don't know
Yes,
what I called it.
CW.
CW is what I call it, right? Manage, add, no authentication, start automatically, next, close. It's connecting to CWA. Done? Let's take a look. 100.170. Actually, let me open a different one up for this one. Pre-auth has blocked it. Self-service, Tom, Jerry, Tom J at gmail.com. Copy, Tom J. Comes back and should be. So what's the difference between wireless and wired?
ACL.
The ACL. I don't have two ACLs, I have one ACL that acts as my pre-auth and the reader. That is created where? On the WLC. Post-auth, that's general. Even when we were doing normal, when we were doing ACL with WLC and ICE, I never created my ACL on the ICE. It was always created on the WLC. Even when we did the normal VLAN and ACL, even with 802.1x authentication. That's general. With wireless, you never create an ACL where? On the ICE. It's always created on the simple enough. Other than that, on the actual CWA part, there's no change. No change in the sense of conceptually there's no change. Yes, I created different groups because I was doing different type of things, but the concept's the same. If you think about it, I didn't change anything in the portal at all. The portal was exactly the same. The only things I changed was what? Authorizations and authentications, which I needed to because it was a different type of authentication.
And how both of them work together? Maybe the wireless and this wired.
It is right now.
Okay. So we disabled that.
Yeah, I disabled it because my policy was different. See, what I would have to create two different. See, the only thing that I would need to do over here, this one. Remember over here, what did I do? I said just self-created, wired. I would not just say self-created wired. I'd just say self-created because you can only specify one group. But then what I would do is I would have the condition over here as an and, which say for wireless. If it's wireless map, then do CWA wireless, self-created and wireless map, and then I would duplicate it. self-created.
Wired.
Self-created, same group, but the difference would be
Wired. Now they can use the same profile.
no. I can use a different one. I can use the same one if I want to, but generally, if you want, you have the ability to specify a different one. CWA pre-auth wired. Where is that?
CW admin.
No, this one. Take a look. Same group, but if it's a wireless user, give them this profile. If it's a wired user, give them this profile. So I'm doing an AND process,
So this custom profile is same, no? It will be one.
meaning,
This custom profile.
yeah, custom is the same. Custom.
It'll be one. Now it will, I mean, provide by distinguishing about
Based on the type of
map.
Yeah, exactly. What type of map am I doing? Because I cannot do it over there because I can only specify one group for self-created. Self-created again is not something that's very commonly used. Why not? That's giving a user that's coming in full access. He can come in and create his own account. I did it over here because I was lazy not to copy and paste and have errors in those asterisks and the numbers. But generally you would do what? You would do admin create. You get my point? That is CWA wireless.